my dear crafters. This is a very different video from what I usually do. The idea here is for me to go through my own system on how I organize myself throughout the year to do my craft fairs. So basically, this will be good for those of you who already do craft fairs, or if you are interested in starting to do that. So I will walk you through my systems from how I get my ideas on how I organize myself to make all the products that I make. I mean, yesterday alone I made maybe 40. I came up with an idea for coffee, and that's what I did. So it's a lot of work, and it really, you really need to get organized. So first of all, how do I get ideas? Of course, this is an ongoing thing. This is not something that I do in 2 months and then I write it down, organize myself and produce. No, this is an ongoing. Every day I get ideas from different places, but I will touch on two main ones. One is Pinterest. You all, I'm sure most of you use Pinterest. I will have my name underneath here. It's Paula Fontinelli, but I'll have my name here so you can join me. And also in all my videos in the description, you can click and join and follow, right? On Pinterest, you follow. So you can follow me. I have tons of boards there. A lot of them are paper crafts, so I'm sure you get, and there is one specific for craft fair ideas. So that's one idea that I give you. Use Pinterest because they're really fantastic for that. Pinterest is one of them. The second one is here on YouTube. There are so many wonderful creators out there. I'm always browsing their ideas, and from one little thing, sometimes I make it my own. If I do use somebody else's idea, I always give credit to them, and I always have a link. But the thing is, I think the main thing for us is to keep your brain creating. So that's something that really works for me. And you will see the difference. Once you get into the vibe and you get into the movement of creation, my brain never stops. I don't know how many times I wake up in the middle of the night and I have an idea and I just kind of solidify it in my head. Next day, I write it down so I don't forget. So Pinterest, YouTube is very good, but you know the other thing that I do too? Here in Portland, we have a lot of stationery stores. Some of them are just stationaries, or you can go, for example, to a department store and go to the stationery area. Just browse through what they have. There will always be something, or those stores that have knickknacks and little things, little gifts. Those are great for ideas too. I usually just head straight to the paper area. And I often take pictures if there is something. The other day I saw this Post-it note collection book, something like that. I just opened it up, took a picture, and said I can create something based on this. So I am always writing it down. And that brings me to another point that's very important. You have to organize yourself for that. So Pinterest is very easy because you create those boards and you keep your stuff there. It's easy to go back to. YouTube, same thing. If you find something that you think maybe I can do create a product similar to this one, sometimes it's just the technique itself that you see and you go, wow, I haven't used that before, maybe I will. Create a playlist. I have a playlist that is private. You can't see it, but it's called Craft Fair Ideas. So I know that that's somewhere that I go to for my ideas, to just brainstorm something new. So that's the other thing that's very important. Try to organize it. And I have a crafting planner, but it can be a notebook, anything really. I don't use the lined ones because I draw a lot. The ideas are drawn and I need measurements and scoring lines and all of that. So I don't like to use, I like the ones without the lines. So write it down. Have this notebook that is specifically for that, easy to grab. So if you have an idea, just write it down. So this is where I mainly get my ideas. After that, after I have this system of organization in place, When I reach the month of July, more or less, because here on YouTube I'm always I do at least a video a week. Usually, most of the times it's more than that. So I'm always creating videos too. And most of them are not for, at least the first semester, are not for craft fairs, because I only do craft fairs in the winter and fall and winter. I do one in the summer, but I don't know if I'll keep on doing that. But once July comes, and remember that we have Christmas in July, so that's a series that most of us crafters do. You see Christmas in July here on YouTube everywhere. And that's where I start getting in the mood of Christmas. So it's the Christmas in July for me. It's the beginning of my process of creation for craft fairs. Because after summer, after July, August, September, I usually have my Halloween series, and then, but by then I'm already creating for craft fairs, because my big one is in October. So I have to at least have 3 months to create the videos and to create the products. Because usually what I do is I create a few, and then I do the video, and then I create everything, I finish everything that I need. For example, if it's a tea bag holder, then I create that specific one. I finish everything. After the video, that's done. I put it in a box and I store it somewhere. And then I go to the next. But again, it's important to get organized, because there are some, I'm going to get my cheat. I have a cheat page here just so I don't forget. So around July and August, I'm also working, for example, I start thinking about what kind of embellishments am I going to use. You guys know I love my cutting dies, and cutting dies take a while. You have to cut them, you have sometimes to prepare, like for example, a bow or anything that involves a die. It usually takes a while for you to cut everything, all the little pieces, and put it together. So I use July and August for that, to buy the embellishments that I need. I go to my local stores. Usually they don't have anything, at least here in Portland, they don't have anything for Christmas or fall until about late August. So, but I go to the stores, I browse online, I see the new collections that are coming up. So, which papers do I want to use this year? You know, I am big on using what you have. I really try not to get into this crazy consumerism of buying everything that's new. But there are always, especially cutting dies, that are my favorite things. I love buying new cutting dies. So I browse and I see all the brands that I like. Which ones do I want to use this year? So I get them, I start preparing, and sometimes I make videos with that so that you can get organized as well. But I use July and August to really sit down, prepare the things that I need, and then in August, I start creating for craft fairs. And from that point on until the end of December, that's all I do. So yeah, dies, the thing about dies is, and for my channel here, because I know not all of you use cutting dies, it's very important for me to come up with ideas that are at least half and half. Half need dies, so because I know some of you have it, and half of them will not need any cutting dies. You basically just need paper, because I want to make sure that all of you can learn something during that series. So that's an important one for me. Also, I start thinking of categories. So for example, I always make food related items, because these are a hit. People love tea bag holders, tea bag kits. Sometimes I put tea bag, for example, with honey and candy canes, a chocolate. It depends. I create at least 3 different ones for each category of food. So for example, hot chocolate is a big one in itself, because it's winter, it's getting cold, and people love that. So hot chocolate is always there. I always buy candy canes, sometimes for decoration purposes, just to give it a look of Christmas, sometimes because it goes well with what I'm showcasing. So tea bags, I always buy a lot of tea bags, and I have at least 3 or 4. We have also stationary items, so that's one category, food items. Another one would be stationery, so notebooks. What do I need to do? What am I going to do? I know that I use a lot those 3 notepads from Dollar Tree, so I go there and I buy in bulk, and you can also buy online on the Dollar Tree website. You don't have to go to the store, especially if you buy in bulk. It's really worth it. So I go online, I buy, I start thinking, okay, here's what I need, and I know that I use a lot. So these 3 pads, I go to dollar store, I stock up on that, because it's important for you to have what you need once you decide on what you're going to do. So stationery, food, and general items. For example, another hit, lip balm. You all know my little purse that has a lip balm inside. That's my #1 bestseller, and yeah, that one sells a lot. I already made 30 of those, but this year, for example, you will see in my series that I think I have 4 different lip balm holders, and some of them have different prices, because it does, unfortunately, when people come to your booth or your table and they look at, oh, this is a lip balm, that's what you get, but the packaging is different. So I will have an item like that for different prices. The little purse, for example, I never sell it for less than $4 or $5. Depends on where I am. If it's the last day, for example, sometimes I put it on sale so I can sell more. But usually it's $5, the little purse. But the same item, the lip balm holder, a simple one that I make, it's just basically a little, this little box, long box. It's very cute, but it takes less time for me. You have to take that into consideration. Never forget that you are using your time, and you have to price that as well. I think it's the hardest thing for all of us, is how to price our items. It's so hard to come up with prices, but you have to value your time. I try to have one item that is $1, and it's usually those little mini books that are from the Dollar Tree. You can buy 3 for $1.25. And I would just separate them, and that is the only thing that I do for $1, because I truly believe it's something to attract people, but I value my work, and that's something that is really hard for us to do and to learn, because you think, oh, but I only spent, I don't know, 35 cents on this product. How am I gonna, charge $2 or 50 cents? And you spend time on it. You spend time, you spend your creativity, and that has a value. So never forget that. Don't sell yourself cheap, okay? So that's one thing. Yeah, general gifts. The price, and the other thing that I have, and you will see that in my series, I don't give prices when I do the individual videos, and there is a reason for that. You might think, why can't she just tell us how much she's going to charge for this? I will tell you all the prices in the video called What I Have Made for This Craft Fair. I always have that video, and I believe this year I'll have part 1 and part 2 at least, because I have so many things, so many videos coming up. But and this is the reason why I don't have in individual videos the prices, because for me it's very important that at the end, and I'm getting there, I'm going to do that next week, that I put everything here. This is my table right here. You can see I'm still working. This is something that I'm working on right now. Look at that. It's a beautiful shaker in front, and inside we're going to have hot chocolate, marshmallows. We have chocolate here, a little spoon. So that's an item that you're going to learn how to make very soon. But it's very important for me to have an idea. For example, the lip balm holder, I'm going to have, I think, 4 different ones, 4 different boxes and ways of packaging the lip balm. So I want to see them all here, because people will judge the prices based on sizes. For example, you have a notebook that is the big one that it takes you 10 minutes to make, and sometimes the little one, it would take 3 times longer than that. But people look at it and they think the smaller one has to be cheaper. right? But I do look at it with the consumer view, the way that people think when they look at products. So for me to come up with the prices, I have to see everything. They have to make sense together. So that's why I don't do individually. Once I finish, because I do lose track, believe me, I've created so much stuff. I have boxes and boxes here, and I do lose track of what I've made. So when I finish, and I'll do this at this weekend, or next week, and I'll have everything individually that I've made so that I can come up with the prices, and then I'll give you all the prices in that video. This is what I made, and I'll give you in the individual prices there. So that's something else for the pricing. That's what I do. I wait until I finish. I'm just going through some tips to see if I can help you get organized as well. And once you get there, I like to have some items. That depends. For example, the biggest craft fair that I participate is Local 14. Is wonderful. It's actually an art show. It's beautiful, very high-end products, beautiful art that they sell, and they've been around for 50 years, so very well known here in Portland. They don't, it's very complicated for them if I do something like buy 3, and because you have to use individual tags on all the products, which for us is complicated because just one, for example, the little purse, I have like 30, so I'm going to have 30 tags for that individually. It's very complicated for them to know that if they buy 3, they get a discount, so I can't do that there. But once I have the next one, then I'll be able to do that. So, but that's a tip for you. It really encourages people to buy more than one. So you do something for $4, and if you buy 3, it will be $10, something like that, because it really works. I can't do it at Local 14, but I'll do it on the next one. So that's another tip for you. The other thing is, and I will have at least one video showing you how to create like stands for your table. Very important, and I will have, as soon as I have my table ready, that's going to be another video, I will show you how I have very different heights on my table, because first of all, it keeps people there for longer. They will be looking at different heights and not just displaying a flat table with items. I have ways of pulling through the notepads. It's a dish I've shown here before. It's just a dish holder, this basic dish holder that I have, plate holder, and you can go through them. I have different ways of different containers. So I have a basket for something that is flat, or my little notebooks that are made with the post-it notes, they stay in a basket. I have different heights, and I will show you how to make one of these stands using a Dollar Tree products. So we use that. Use boxes. Do something to have different levels on your table, because that will keep people around. They will look up and down, and they'll look behind the things. They will spend more time, and it will be very different, and it looks much better. And that I will show you how I present my products when I do my craft fair, okay? So that's that. I think the last thing I need to talk about is, it takes me, just so you know, for to pack everything, to put the tags on, to wrap, put them in these little big containers to take it. It takes me about 4 days to do that. So I always leave the last week for organizing the items so that I have everything ready to go. Not only that, but I do create, and I'll show you that when I show you my table, I create tags. Create something, tell a story. For example, I will have the lip balm holder, for example, say, and I will have a little with the price. The price will be on each one of them, but I always have the price, so it's easy. They don't have to look for the price. So I have a tags and lip balm holder, and I always have, this is very important, I always have one open and with the product showing. So if even for notepads, if I have 10 notepads that I know that inside you have a pocket and you have a beautiful notepad that's been covered. I'll have one in front showing them this is what they look like inside. That's what you should expect. So I have a tag saying that. For example, something like this. I'll have a tag saying hot chocolate kit or hot chocolate mug, and I'll say everything that's inside. You get a Ghirardelli chocolate, you have a mint, you have 2 candy canes, and you have marshmallow with a spoon. So they know what's inside. Not only do they look at it, but they know what to expect. That little purse that I have, I'll have one open showing what it looks like inside. Very important, because we know what it is like inside. In most of our products, they are containers for something else because it's paper. So show them what's inside. They need to know. Yeah, so that, and I think this is it. I think these are my main tips. Get organized with your ideas, have a system, and yeah, that's, I think I've covered everything that I wanted to cover. I hope this is helpful to you. I really hope you get inspired by my series, and you get, I've heard from some of you that now you're inspired to do craft fairs. That's why I had the idea of doing this video. I hope it was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments below. And yeah, so have a great day. Thank you for being here. Do follow, do subscribe, go to my Pinterest. I'll have the link. It's always in the description. And thank you so much for spending your time with me. I hope I inspire you to do craft fairs. They're fun, and it's a way for you to do what you love, to make some money so you can buy more paper. You have a great day, and thank you for being here with me.